Hi class 7, welcome back to your value education class. So today I am going to start with the third chapter. Before I begin and before I share the name of the chapter with you, let me ask you a few questions as I normally do. Suppose do you think nature created boys and girls to be equal? According to you, what would be your answer if I ask this question? Do you think nature created boys and girls to be equal? What makes you think so? What would be your answer? Think for some time and do write to me because I need to know your answer too. Well, today our topic is about gender equality. We are going to discuss about this topic called gender equality. Now, what I am going to do is I will be explaining the term to you, and the topic which is given in the book, I will share it with you. You have your own viewpoint also, because this is value education. Based on values, we are trying to understand the topic and relate it with our life. So you have your own views, you have your own aspects of life, so you can of course share your views too. Now, when I talk about this term called gender equality, it's not like that. If we want to talk about this, it will be in a limited point we can discuss. It's not that. Basically, this is something which is going on from generation to generation, right? So, present scenario, the situation where we live in, we find that, of course, to some extent, both boys and girls are given importance, right? Now, see, nowhere it is written that boys are superior to the girls or girls are superior to the boys, vice versa. Nowhere it is written. Neither it is written that a girl can participate in something but the boy cannot, or the boy can participate, girl cannot. It's not written anywhere. It's our mentality, our mindset up where we think it in this way. If I talk to you of the period when our grandparents were there, when they had a lifestyle of their own, you will see during those period, girls were deprived of getting facilities that they should be given, which they were not getting it actually. Even if you talk about education, let's talk about that. There was a period when girls couldn't think of going to college, going to school and complete their education or establish themselves in the society. There was a period, right? And from there, you all know Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. He gave a tremendous support to our society. For the girls, he wanted to build schools, colleges, which he could do, and wanted to pass on few acts in favor of girls, right? So when we talk about this equality, we see that of course we girls were deprived of many facilities which we have not got, right? But simultaneously the situation changed, and slowly and gradually what we could get that girls now moved out. They started moving to the schools, colleges. They got the knowledge and the experience that was needed, and teachers started imparting knowledge, education to the girls even. So slowly that path became smooth for the next generations. Still, we see that there are limitations and barriers in the society for girls. Now, when we talk about boys also, see, we have a mind set up that maybe this is for girl and this is for boy. So, if girl can do this, boy cannot, or boy can do this, girl cannot. Now, for example, if I can cook, then a boy also can cook. It's just the matter of learning. Simple thing. If I can learn, the boy can also learn. Or vice versa, if I say, if boy can be a doctor, I can also be a doctor. So, there should be no discrimination between these two sections in our society, right? So, what is important is, we cannot see the society in this way that there is one section called girl section, one section called boy section. It's all about us. We should be united. It's about human beings. We should think it in this way, that we human beings are important. So, whether be it a girl or be it a boy, it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter actually to anyone, right? So, if I am given the privilege to do something, you are also, the boy is also given the same privilege, right? A girl can be a doctor, can be an engineer, can be chef, right? Can be a teacher. So, whatever profession is there, a girl and boy both can be, right? See, eventually it changes, gradually it changes, but even now, if we talk about our society, there are situations and there are, stages in our life where sometimes we are deprived of. So, we need to bring up the society in such a way that society should give importance to both the sectors, to both the sections. So when I ask this question, do you think nature created boys and girls to be equal? Your answer should be yes, of course. Nature has made boys and girls capable of feeling the same emotions and doing similar jobs. But age-old stereotypes like these forces which are there in the society who has a different thinking or mentality act in a manner that is expected of them. So, of course, in our society also, you cannot expect everybody to be good. Good means will support you in everything or will praise you in everything. We cannot expect that. See, if a boy can be a police officer, a girl too can be. Right? If a boy can be a soldier, a girl can also be a soldier. So, let's stop the discrimination between two sections in our society. That should come to an end. Somewhere in the back of the mind, it goes on that maybe we should give preference to the boys than to the girls. The superior part goes to the boy section instead of the girl section. So, it's our foremost duty to change the society. If one person starts, gradually and automatically, somebody will be there to support that person and you will see the rest of the queue follows. Okay. So, gender equality means providing opportunities to both boys and girls. If I get, that's what I was telling you, if I am getting some opportunity, I expect the other person who is a boy will also get the same opportunity. And if I take it in this way, if the boy is getting the opportunity to work outside, I should also get the opportunity to work outside. Even both can help each other at home. There is no question of, because he's a boy, so he is going out. Once he's back home, he's not going to do anything for the family. That's not the deal. Should be like this. If he is also going out, simultaneously his wife is also going out, both, once they meet at home, both has the responsibility for the family. Because seeing parents, the children learn, right? So seeing me, my daughter will learn, right? Seeing your parents, you are learning. So what we need to do is we need to remove this discrimination, right? Now, what do you think? Do people treat boys and girls in the same way? If this question comes in your mind, what is your instant answer? Would be no, right? But we need to change this. If we try, we can change the mentality of the people. Now, can you name a profession that only men or only women can pursue? Is there any profession in this world where we think that, okay, this is for me, for a girl, and that is for a boy? Actually, we cannot say, right? We cannot say this. So, it depends whether I am able to do that or not. But it doesn't mean that I am deprived of that opportunity. That shouldn't be. I should be given the same opportunity which is given to a boy. Wrestling, or maybe you talk about 100-meter race. Everywhere. Nowadays in our society, of course, we are equal in their level, in boys' level. But there was a situation and scenario where we were not given that importance and privilege, right? So what is important to know is gender equality means providing equal opportunities to both of them. Stopping someone from doing what she or he enjoys or is good at because of gender is called gender discrimination, or you are biased by. See, I am being a girl, like to be a soldier, and I am not given that opportunity. Why? Because of my gender. I am a girl, so I am not given that opportunity. So this is biasness actually. So you cannot discriminate in this way. You are not judging my capability and you are just taking the decision. See, if we talk about Kadambini Ganguly, nowadays, like there is a serial also. So you will see, if you study about her, if you go through her biography, you will see she was the first woman in India, from India actually, who became the physician, who became a physician, and she was the first one to treat as a lady. She became the doctor from India, okay, and during those period when there was rule of British society, okay. So see, she is one of the example, and she had to go through a lot of struggle. That's why, because during that time we were not given that privilege or honor or importance. Even then, in spite of all the situation, she fought against the society rules and norms, and then she became such a great doctor, right? Now, this is the thing we need to learn, that it's not about, even, sometimes you will see when you play a match, girls team, boys team, that shouldn't be there. If a girl can play, a boy can also play. Both can participate. It depends on my capability. That's it. If I am having enough strength, I can play in a boy team. Football, cricket, kabaddi, we can play. What is needed is you need to give chance. Without giving chance, or just because I am into a girl society, I belong to that gender, the answer comes no. That shouldn't be. We need to stop this, right? We need to follow, or we need to understand that both can have feelings, both have their emotions. Now here, if a point, sometimes it happens, like if a boy is crying, we laugh, or we say a boy cannot cry. But why? Why a boy cannot cry? the boy is a human being. He's also having feelings, emotions, right? He's having a heart. He can also feel the situations. If something goes wrong, he can feel it. If he can laugh in front of everybody, why can't he cry? He can, right? So these all things, concepts which are there already stuck in our mind, we need to remove all these barriers and we need to come out of it. Then only we can find equality among ourselves in the sense of gender. So boys and girls are equally intelligent and capable. They must enjoy equal opportunities in terms of education, health, employment. You talk about anything in the society and in the world, we are equal. That's what is very important. If a boy can be a pilot, a girl can too be a pilot, right? If you think a girl is only there to be air hostess, why? A boy can also be, right? To serve the nation, for the nation, he can do, right? So we need to think in a different way. We need to move on in a different way. Okay. So when we come to this chapter, gender equality, you will see the story which is given to you. It's about what? The interview. Okay. And here, once you go through, you will see it was in the period 1974, month of April. Okay. And it took place in Bangalore. Now, Bangalore was getting warm and the gulmohars were blooming at the IISC, that means Indian Institute of Science campus. So we are talking about this campus. I was the only girl in my postgraduate department and was staying at the women's hostel. So the lady who is talking or who is writing this story, she says that she was the only girl in this department. Which department? She was doing post-graduation and she was staying in the hostel. The other girls in my hostel were pursuing research in different departments of science. So they were pursuing something else. And I was looking forward to going abroad to complete a doctorate in computer science. So she was busy in this. That's why she was there. Only postgraduate student there in that department. Now what happened? I had been offered scholarships by universities in the United States. So I had not thought of taking up a job in India. So she was already given one opportunity. This is a lady, a girl, mind that. So she was already given one option by university in the United States. But she was not ready to opt that because she was not ready to opt for any job in India because she has already got. So one day, while on my way to my hostel from our lecture hall complex, I saw an advertisement on the notice board. So while she was returning, she saw one advertisement on the notice board where it was written, it was a standard job requirement notice for the famous automobile company called Telco. Now, it stated that the company required bright young engineers, hardworking with an excellent academic background, etc. This was written. But at the bottom something else was written. One more line was written. What was that? Lady candidates need not apply. So this was mentioned in that notice. Now what happens? I read it and was very upset. So she got upset. Who is she? I'll come to that point later. For the first time in my life, I was up against gender discrimination. So of course this is gender discrimination because when opportunity is given, you should give to the girls also, to the ladies also. But this has not happened. Though I was not keen on taking up the job, I saw it as a challenge. As she has already mentioned that she is not interested to take up job in India, but still she took this up as a challenge. I had gone extremely well in academics, better than most of my male peers, means male friends. Little did I know then that in real life, academic excellence was not enough to be successful. Of course, after reading the notice, I went fumming to my room because she was not happy with the news or with the notice. So I decided to inform the topmost person in telco's management about the injustice that the company was perpetrating. Now, according to her, the company was doing injustice to the girls, to the ladies. So she wanted to inform it to the head of the authority. I got a postcard. So during that time, postcard was there in trend, okay, and began writing. She wrote a letter. But there was a problem. I did not know who headed telco, means who is the head of that company. She was not knowing. She thought that it must be one of the Tatas, though actually Shuman Mulgaonkar was the company's chairman then, but she was not knowing. Now what happened? I knew that J.R.D. Tata was the head of the Tata Group. I had seen his pictures in the newspapers. So she was not sure who was the head of the company. Rather, she knew that JRD was the head of the company, of that company. And I took the card, addressed it to JRD and started writing. So she has addressed to the person whom she felt comfortable, and she thought that might be JRD is the person who is the head of the company. To this day, I remember clearly what I wrote. Means the day when she was writing this, she remembered what she wrote. It was 1974 April, Bangalore. She wrote, "The great Tatas have always been pioneers. They are the people who started the basic infrastructures industries in India, such as iron and steel, chemicals, textiles, locomotives. They have cared for higher education in India since 1900. And they were responsible for the establishment of the Indian Institute of Science." So she has praised them in this way. Fortunately, I study there. She is there into that institute. But I am surprised how a company like Telco is discriminating on the basis of gender. This much she wrote. And then she wrote, "Sincerely, Sudha." So we came to know about her name. She was Sudha. Now who was she? We will come to know. I posted the letter and forgot about her. Less than 10 days later, means within 10 days, I received a telegram stating that I had to appear for an interview at Telco's Pune facility at the company's expense. So now she got a letter where it was mentioned she had to appear for the interview. And at company's expense, means company will bear her expenses, okay? So she can go to that place where she was supposed to go for interview, Pune. Next, I was taken aback by the telegram. Of course, she was really surprised because within no time she got the reply. My hostel mates told me that I should use the opportunity to go to Pune free of cost and buy them the famous Pune saris for cheap. I collected rupees 30 from everyone who wanted a sari. When I look back, I feel like laughing at the reasons for my going, but back then they seemed good enough to make the trip. The trip was really good, okay? It was my first visit to Pune and I immediately fell in love with the city. To this day, it remains dear to me. So till now, it's dear to me, the city. I feel as much at home in Pune as I do in Hubli, my hometown. The place has changed my life in many ways. As directed, I went to Telco's Pimpri office for the interview. So she went there. There were 6 people on the panel and I realized then that this was serious business. So she understood slowly that now the situation is going to change. It's quite serious for her because 6 people were there on the panel. This is the girl who wrote to JRD, I heard somebody whisper as soon as I entered the room. By then, I knew for sure that I would not get the job. The realization abolished all fear from my mind, so I was rather cool while the interview was being conducted. Now, of course, she was quite cool. Why? Because she knew she's not going to get the job, first of all, and she's not going to work there. So she was quite cool there. Instead of having fear and all, she was cool. Now, even before the interview started, I made up my mind that the panel was biased. So, interview didn't take place yet, but she was quite convinced by herself that the interview is going to be biased one because they have already written it. It's for the boys. So I told them rather impolitely. She told them in an impolite way, I hope this is only a technical interview. They were taken aback by my rudeness, and even today I am ashamed of my behavior. The panel asked me technical questions and I answered all of them. Then an elderly gentleman with an affectionate voice told me, do you know why we said that lady candidates need not apply? Now he questions, that too with a very polite voice. He asked her back that, do you have any idea why we have not taken lady candidates here? The reason is that we have never employed ladies on the shop floor. Okay, this was the reason. This is not a co-ed college. This is a factory. When it comes to academics, you are a first ranker throughout. We appreciate that. But people like you should work in research laboratories, because it was a shop floor place, for the place where they were hiring people. That's why they were not willing to take any lady candidate. Okay. So this was the thing told to her. I was a young girl from small town Hubli. My world has been a limited place. I did not know the ways of large corporate houses and their difficulties. So I answered, but you must start somewhere. Of course, that is what I told you. We need to start somewhere. So same thing she's also saying, we need to start somewhere. Otherwise, no woman will be able to work in your factories. Now, according to her, somewhere we need to start. Even I also say the same thing. I hope you all will also support the point. Finally, after a long interview, I was told that I had been successful. So after all these, then she came to know that she is into the job. And finally, what happens? Let's see. One day I had to show some reports to Mr. Mulgaonkar, our chairman. I was in his office when suddenly JRD walked in. Now JRD, you remember, she has written the letter to JRD, right? So he came. I was feeling very nervous, remembering my postcard episode. Of course, listening to his name, she could remember what she has done. So Mr. Mulgaonkar introduced me nicely. Jay, this young woman is an engineer, and that too, a postgraduate. She is the first woman to work on the telco shop floor. JRD looked at me. I was praying that he would not ask me any questions about my interview. Thankfully, he didn't. Instead, he remarked, it is nice that girls are getting into engineering in our country. By the way, what is your name? So in this way, she ends up. And who is she? She is Sudha Murthy, a social worker, author, chairperson of Infosys Foundation, a staunch believer in simple living and high thinking. It is Sudha's dream to remove illiteracy from our country. Besides setting up several orphanages, she is responsible for providing all government schools in Karnataka with computer and library facilities. So she is this lady. Okay. Now from here, why this topic is given to us? To point out only one thing, that somewhere we need to start, and we shouldn't be biased of gender, right? There should be an end to this biasness. We need to think in which way? In a different way, where importance and privilege to be given to human beings, not the genders. It's not being a girl or being a boy, not that. It's being a human. You should be given equal responsibilities, equal opportunities, and if you have anything in your mind that you want to be something, you have set up a goal in your life, you can of course do that, right? No matter you are a girl or a boy. That is the thing, that is the message from this chapter. I hope you have understood. If there is any confusion, do write to me, okay? So today till this much. Take care. Bye-bye.